I'm gonna save my opening until we actually are on the episode.
Should we just like wing it? I feel like we shouldn't do a listener question. Let's just do that one question and kind of like.
You don't want to do a review or anything, or what would you do?
No.
None of that. All right.
Yeah, why not? We'll just talk about our lives.
All right. Do you want to start at 30 seconds after?
Yeah.
I didn't test it, but let test. Hold on. Not 30 seconds, maybe 40.
Okay.
Damn, this is like the earliest we've actually started.
I know.
All right, I'll be good to do it 40 seconds.
Okay, I'm ready. Boom.
Boom!
Ooh, you're probably going to scare somebody. Be like, holy shit. And can you imagine if this is the first time they've ever listened to us?
Good luck.
We're live.
We're live.
Oh, listen to that crackle. Wow. Ryan, what are you drinking?
It's a Pivot, and it's a Fincastle hard cider. So I think it's just the Pivot Brewing Company in Lexington, Kentucky. I think it's just their traditional cider. I had to dig in the fridge for this one.
I bet.
Running low on the Angry Orchards.
Yeah. So I am having a cocktail that is in remembrance of your birthday.
In remembrance of my birthday.
It's your birthday today. Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday so we can party too. Woo!
I didn't know that's what you meant when you said you were going to sing happy birthday to me on the podcast.
Well, I decided that a shorter birthday song would be better.
You're just sparing everybody. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, because like the regular happy birthday song is in like I don't even know who decided to sing that song, but it's like either you got to go real low or real high. I could sing a monotone happy birthday song, like happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I mean, does anybody really get into it when you have to, like, you're obligated to sing it anyways? Like,
absolutely not. Anyway, I made some sweet tea.
Ooh.
And I put some limoncello in it because that's the only lemony thing I have. So it's like a Arnold Palmer, but with pizzazz.
Arnie Palmy?
An Arnie Palmy. And you know what I did the other day that was really fucking good that, like, I wouldn't have expected it to be good, but it is? So, Costco has those margarita wine cooler thingies, like the jug of margarita.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been buying.
Does it already have alcohol in it?
Yeah. It's like 15% alcohol, something like that. And so if you mix that with sweet tea, it tastes almost exactly like an Arnold Palmer. It is so fucking good. Like, because to me, those margaritas are a little bit like tart.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're a little too
honestly,
much.
Lime margarita, like that would probably be just as good as using lemonade.
Exactly. It's like a little tart for me, or like acidic or something. And then I mixed it with the sweet tea to calm it down. And I was like, wow.
I haven't thought about that. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, Margot Palmer.
Margot Palmer. That's Arnold's wife.
Yeah.
Margot.
Yeah. His drunk wife.
And then he comes in and he's like, I don't know, Margot.
I don't know, Margot.
That's from Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know. Wait. Is her name Margot?
Yes.
Is it?
And why is the carpet all wet, Todd? I don't know,
Margot. Oh.
As played by Elaine Bennis.
So good. So fucking good.
Okay. So it sounds like I might need to try some of that.
Yeah, I think
margarita mix with some.
Maybe I'll bring it next weekend, and we can like.
Okay. Rachel's usually a Deep Eddy's lemonade kind of. She'll usually add that to sparkling water or something or something like that, just to add a little something extra. I have not figured out the right combination for adding that with sweet tea. You just gotta like put just a little bit, like a shot,
because it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and it's pretty tart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How are you? How was your birthday? Tell me all the things.
It was
You're
chill.
31.
31. Yes.
Wow.
31.
We're the same age.
Rachel has about a month, and she's always like, because her birthday's about a month before mine, and she's like, I'm a cougar for 1 month. And I'm like, why do you even say that? You're like 1 year older than me. That doesn't apply.
We are the same age for 10 days.
Yes. Coming up. Yours is coming up.
Mine's coming up.
Coming up. So, yeah, today was pretty chill. Work. And then after we've actually been getting in the groove of going exercising. So we went on a run today after work.
Wow.
We've been trying to do like before work some days and then after, but it's still like cold in the morning. It's like almost 40. So I'm like, we'll go after work. And it was like great after 5 o'clock today. I don't know if you were out today, but
it was nice.
It was really nice. And then we did some stuff in the back with the plant beds and stuff outside. So we were spending a little more time outside, and then ate some leftovers for dinner, and then got in the studio a little bit. So it's been kind of a mix and match. And then
you didn't even get Chipotle for dinner?
No. Rachel was like, we're going to eat leftovers. I was like, all right, because we're spending the whole weekend in Columbus. So I was like, we'll get good dinners there.
Okay, fine.
I can wait.
Every party needs a pooper.
So, I mean, we're going to eat out like 3 nights there, so.
Sure.
Plenty of meals to eat in Columbus.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I had Chipotle today for dinner.
Yeah. I told you off air, but I switched to the chicken bowl, burrito bowl, whatever. Get it, and then I get 2 tortillas on the side, so I can eat 1 burrito there and then 1 burrito the next day.
That is how you win at Chipotle. Here's how you win at Chipotle. You get half meat, half beans, if you like all the things. But if you get half meat, more times than not, they will give you double meat.
Oh my gosh.
Just because they don't give a shit, So they're like, oh, let's just give them a full scoop.
Yeah, because they're not going to like half scoop it.
Right. And like, I'm not a huge rice fan, so I always ask for a light rice, but double beans and then like all the things. Yeah. And then you just cut it in half and put all the lettuce in the 1 burrito that you're going to have today. And then take all the lettuce off of the other side and then eat that tomorrow.
Yeah. So
the shit.
Get more stuff. No, normally I was a chicken burrito eater, and you get 1 burrito and no leftovers, but here you go. You pay like an extra $1 maybe, less than that, and you get 2 meals.
Exactly. Yeah, I always used to split it up, and now I've been getting a burrito recently. A double wrapped burrito. Today's was especially delicious.
I can't believe anybody that gets tacos there. I feel like you're just gonna shortchange yourself by getting tacos.
Yeah, why not get a fucking burrito?
Yeah, maybe that's for kids or something. I've seen an adult get tacos before, but I'm like, why? Normally they like stuff those things full, and that just sounds like an aggravation if you can't wrap it all the way.
Right.
Stuff's gonna fall everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, no Chipotle today, but.
Well, I'm sorry.
We try to get some fast food on Sunday, which was Easter. Man, it was like Chipotle closed. I was like, Raising Cane's closed. Wendy's closed. Pizza was open. We didn't want pizza, and then we ended up getting
Kroger Deli closed.
You want to guess what we went? Kroger was closed.
Oh my god.
You want to guess what was open?
City Barbecue.
No, we didn't. We didn't look that up.
Chick-fil-A?
Fast food. Chick-fil-A's not open on Sundays. They're definitely not open on Easter, Becca. You know what? We don't open any Sundays, but just for special occasion.
Just for Jesus, we'll open on Easter.
On Sunday. We're gonna bring him in here on Easter Sunday. Come on in.
Spread the light, man. Spread the light. Where did you go?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Would you doubt it? McDonald's, of course, McDonald's. McDonald's is hopping. There's about 4 or 5 people in that line. I order online, of course, with the app, and then I get the deal or whatever, and make it a little faster. But
I haven't been through an actual Chipotle line in a fucking long time. I think the last time was with you guys.
You mean line as in waiting inside and not ordering beforehand on the app?
Right. Yeah. Because I always go and pick it up. You're so lucky you live right next to Chipotle. I kind of do too, but yeah. Oh, I felt like total shit this week, and I think that I am intolerant to yeast. Now, here's my deductions. I don't think that I'm necessarily intolerant to gluten, but I do think that I'm intolerant to yeast because I've been making a shit ton of bagels, trying to perfect them. And I've just felt like garbage, like so tired, like hungover in the mornings, like not drinking any alcohol and waking up and feeling like waking up with a headache, waking up and
how
feeling
many
like
of these
you're
bagels
dying.
are you eating a day when you're
Not
making them?
Not many. That's the thing. But it's the only
What's not
change.
many? Like 2?
No, like 1, maybe. Okay. But it's the only change to my diet, like my food intake. And I can't think of anything else. And like I went to a friend's and I had some bread at her house too. We had like a lot more bread. And so I think that it's got to be yeast. Because I don't like typically during the, my life, I don't go out and buy bread. Like I don't. Bread is
you're not a sandwich eater
I'm not a sandwich eater. I'm not a bagel eater normally. I am like nothing that really involves yeast is in my diet. And so I'm like, maybe that is fucking it. Maybe that's it. Or at least attributing to it. Me feeling like shit. So anyway, I'm stopping making bagels.
Okay.
But I am going to still make kombucha.
Because that's very yeasty and it's liquid.
Yeah, but it's natural yeast. So it's not like... I think it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But also... Oh, go on.
I still have yet to make my pretzels. I told Rachel that. I was like, I kind of want to make pretzels for the party. And I was like, I think Becca would enjoy making them with me on Friday before.
Yeah.
And she was like, really? Do you want to be making pretzels the day before? We have a lot of shit to do. And I was like, Becca's going to enjoy it, though.
Oh.
And then I was like, I need to like try to test make them before we get to the day
of. Or we could just have a major fail.
Oh,
that works too.
I don't want to have a major fail. I want to come in a little bit ready.
We don't have to make them. It's not required.
Super quick to make, so I don't mind trying it before. It's just like, when am I going to try it? So I'm going to have to do it next week, maybe. Like try it. Maybe I'll try it tomorrow. I don't know.
What was I going to say? Oh, I also have been exercising, but not in the same way. This is so funny that you're like, we're going to start running. And I fucking went into the gym at my apartment complex today, and Cameron, the property manager, was there. And I was like, I'm going to walk for 7 minutes.
Nice.
And then I'm going to leave. And she was like, are you going to get like workout clothes and stuff? And I was like, no, motherfucker, I'm walking for 7 minutes.
You're like, that's not enough to break a sweat, okay? 7 minutes.
7 minutes, because Val told me that 7 minutes of walking starts to release the trauma. Like, I don't know exactly what happens, but there's something involving trauma. But then I was like, maybe if I walk 7 minutes in the morning, I like will be like, okay, mini walk, whatever, like feeling good, like a walk around the parking lot or something.
There you go.
And when it's like warmer, maybe that'll just like wake me up enough or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We just go down the street. Like, we go up the street and then we go down the private street that's like, there's 10 houses on it. And there's like light poles along the way that are like equally spaced out. So we're like, we're gonna run 2 light poles,
And then
and then
walk.
we're gonna walk 1 or walk 2, and then we're gonna
Yeah.
run the next 2. So we just alternate and.
You know that Bradley today, he's a wealth of knowledge, said that walking a mile is better than running 3, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the
It
accuracy of
sounds
that
like the
statement.
alternate would be what he would want to say. Walking 3 miles is better than running 1.
You would think. No, he said that walking like just for 30 minutes is like really, really good for you.
Yeah, I
Which
can
I
believe that.
believe. I believe. Yeah, so
Yeah, getting up and out and about is definitely better than sitting.
yeah, for sure. So anyway, yeah.
7 minutes. All right.
7 minutes. I was gonna do it just for 5 because I saw a video that was like, this guy walked for 5 minutes and he lost 100 pounds. Now, I don't know. My goal in life is not to lose 100 pounds. My goal in life is to enjoy my life. But I was like, 5 minutes. I could fucking do 5 minutes. And there's a
Yeah.
gym in my apartment complex. If
Mm-hmm.
I even like went in and just like lifted a little dumbbell or whatever for 5 minutes, I
Dumbbell.
could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
thinking about making a funny reel with doing like workouts in the studio, because I've got my banding wheel that's basically a dumbbell,
Oh my God, it's
right?
so heavy.
It's like 50, it's probably like 15 pounds. So I was
Yeah.
like, I've even done some in the studio, like you do the like above arm like raises, like a shoulder workout
Yes.
or like a curl or whatever. And I was gonna do like a funny reel with just showing like different workouts with the dump with the banding wheel, or like a bag of clay or something, and you're like squatting with it or whatever.
Yeah. I used to do that with buckets of paint. Like, when you're walking
Oh
with buckets
yeah.
of paint, like lifting it up while you're walking. Oh man, I
Jeez,
used to
yeah.
be so fucking strong.
Yeah, your like shoulders were probably ripped.
Yeah, they still are pretty ripped, but I don't think that really goes away, especially when you throw a lot. But
Hmm.
um, yeah, I hauled a 5-gallon bucket of glaze up 2 flights of
Oh God, that's
stairs
a bitch.
like 2 days ago, and I like got to the studio and I was like, and
Just
I was
one
like,
bucket or 2
yeah,
buckets?
one. Oh my
Oh
God, one.
gosh.
And I was
Even
like
one, you walk so
holding
far and you're
it,
like
and Sarah was like, "Why did you do that?" It's like, I don't know.
so heavy. That's like carrying the bucket of cat litter like around, because I gotta like walk
Um,
it in and then walk it downstairs. It's
yeah,
probably
let's see.
heavier than cat
No,
litter, but
a 5-gallon bucket of paint is about 50 pounds.
shit. Yeah, the bucket of cat litter is 35 pounds.
But then, like, I could walk up the stairs with 50 pounds of clay, no problem. It's just that a bucket of clay is like
It's
so much,
so it's so
it's so much
long.
mass. Well, and you're supposed to hold it under the rim. It's not like I'm holding it.
Oh, you weren't holding it by a handle?
No, 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 no.
Oh
Because
shit.
so if you walk with one 5-gallon bucket of clay or one 5-gallon bucket of paint or whatever, you're way off center and that can really
With
throw
one
your
side.
shoulder off.
Yeah.
So actually, if you're gonna walk, you might as well walk with two. But
And hold it like right against your body basically.
yeah, like you might as well hold 2 buckets of 5 gallons, right? To walk if you're gonna walk with anything. But if you're gonna only walk with one, you should hold it by the rim.
Mm.
And yeah, because like Josie is taking home a bunch of shitty slop stuff,
Hmm.
and from work, and she's like, "Can you help me take these out to my car?" And I was like, "Sure." And she was like gonna go lift up one, and I was like, "You know what? Just let me take both of them, because it's just easier to like
Hmm.
walk with 2 5-gallon buckets. It's just
Yeah, because
easier."
then you start bumping your knee and you're like
Yeah, and
walking
it's
funny.
really uncomfortable, and you can really knock off your body doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I was like, man, I used to be so much stronger, and now I like put another 5-gallon bucket under the stairs, and I haven't been willing to take it up yet. I'm like, it can wait. Yeah.
All right, there was your exercise time for today.
Oh, I have one more thing.
All right, what do we got?
Today, I've been listening to a lot of documentaries because you can listen to them rather than watch usually.
Honestly, a lot of the watching is just fluff anyways, right?
Right, like it's like watching a reenactment of a mystery show, you know, it's like, okay, that was nothing. Um and I watched this movie today. It was like all about money, and it was called Generational Wealth, and it was really good. It was on Prime. Yeah.
Prime.
It was on Prime, and it's called Generational Wealth. And I started watching another one that this lady had done. She's a photographer, and she did a documentary on the guy who um built the largest house in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's 90,000 square feet,
Wow.
I think.
90,000?
Maybe it's 60,000. I think it's 90,000 square feet. It was worth like $100 million, and it then they went through 2008 and like hit rock bottom, and then had to like sell the house, but they didn't end up selling it. Nobody ended up buying it, and I think they are renovating it now. But it's a duplication of the Castle of Versailles, and it's very interesting. That one's called The Queen of Versailles, and the other one's called Generational Wealth. But the Queen of Versailles one I think is going to be off of Prime soon. But
Okay. Yeah, when I search for it looks like it's called Generation Wealth.
mm,
And then yeah, the Queen of Versailles comes up right after it, so maybe it's by
yeah,
the same maker, same
yeah, it's by the
documentary
same photographer.
photographer.
Yeah,
Okay.
very interesting. I really like the Generation Wealth one.
Hmm.
You know, it's like all these people that were like millionaires, and they're like, it doesn't even fucking matter now. Like they maybe lost all their money, and they're like, it was worthless. It was worth nothing. So
Yeah. Do they talk about like the effect on the children and whether it affects their drive or motivations or
they kind of like go into kids a little bit, but not too much. But it's also kind of like directly related to like workaholics and stuff like that. So it's very interesting.
hmm.
Yeah. It was good. It was good listen. I wouldn't have preferred I would have preferred not to listen while I was throwing, cuz I
Okay.
would have
Because you kind
preferred
of
to
got to
watch that
focus,
one.
right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really good. So, I think that's it.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to go in what we're talking about today?
Yeah.
Because Becca said no listener questions, no what would you do if, no reviews. We're going right into
Oh,
it.
my mom just sent me a bunch of pictures of kittens.
Are they getting kittens?
Did I tell you the story about my mom and my sister and the kittens?
No.
Oh my God, I have to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're going to go into like 20 something minutes of talking about something. This is the funniest fucking story. Okay. So, and this will just like give you a glimpse of who my mother is and how her boundaries are set. It is so fucking funny. Okay. So, my mom is telling me this story on the phone. Okay. I don't talk to my sister much, so I didn't really hear it from her. But my sister adopted or is fostering a cat, and that cat was pregnant, and they knew that the cat was pregnant. That's fine. The cat ends up bonding with my sister so much so that she just basically sits on my sister's lap all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she like does not move from my sister. So it's like a Tuesday night at 11 p.m. and my sister calls my mom and says, can you please come down here? So my sister lives in the mother-in-law apartment under my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
My sister and my uncle live together. They kind of like take care of each other. He's really old. She's really not okay. So, without getting all into it.
She's a few years older than you or younger than you.
Yeah, she's older than me, but she's disabled. So she says she calls my mom at 11 or texts her or something and says, "Can you please come down? This cat just had babies on top of me."
She's so attached that she's like,
Yeah,
I'm not going anywhere.
yeah, she was so attached that she just like popped out two kittens right on top of my sister, and my sister's like, I can't move. So my mom's telling me this story, and she goes, quote for quote, there was a number of reasons why I didn't want to go down to the basement, but the main reason being it was 11 p.m.
I was wondering when you said 11 p.m. I was like, does mom go to sleep like earlier than that normally?
Yeah, she does. She goes to sleep like 10. And she goes, so I didn't go down there. So my mom's boundaries are fucking set permanently. Like she has no remorse when she's like, nah, I'm good.
Obviously, your sister knew that the cat was pregnant, right?
Yeah, she knew. But and what was fine, what was good was that I guess there was some person from the vet office that actually came out to my parents' house and helped her because my sister probably called and was like, holy fuck, this cat is, she did
Yeah.
not say fuck, I can guarantee you that, but she was like, this cat is having babies on top of me. So this lady like came out, my mom's like, so I was at least nice and I turned the lights on for her.
I turned the outdoor lights on so she knew
The
how to find
outdoor
us.
lights on.
That's funny.
So anyway, she had 2 kittens on top of my sister, and then they like got her off and like, got all the kittens taken care of, and then the mom ended up having 4 more. So they have 6 kittens.
Okay, I was gonna say, how far
Yeah.
into this ordeal was this? So two out of
Yeah.
6 is what you said? Okay.
Yeah, 2 out of 6.
Dang. So the vet person got there before the other 4 were born?
Yeah. So
Damn.
that's good. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is weird because my parents live out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Like,
yeah, I was like, how long does it normally take for cats to birth kittens?
I don't know, but yeah, so so anyway, that's my funny story of
Jeez.
the month.
I wonder if there's something like maternal of like, hey, the cat kind of knows it's getting close to birthing, so it's like more attached to the person it's most close to, that it's like, I'm gonna stay close to you.
I don't know. She was a feral cat, so sometimes feral cats just like hold on to a human, But yeah, Isaac Shoe's cat had kittens and he refuses to post them on Instagram, and I am pissed. But I did
you
get
see
some
some
pictures today.
Okay.
I'm not really pissed. A little pissed.
Are they a lot of black and white cats like Mittens?
There's one all black one.
Because Mittens is black and white, right? She's not, I think, right?
Yeah, so oh my god, they are so goddamn cute. There's I want to say there's 3 that are all black with like tiger stripes on them. Like they're black tiger stripes kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then one that's tiger striped gray with a little white nose. And then one that's like white with the tiger stripes. She's so cute. They're so cute. And then Mittens looks like a little bitch because she is. But Isaac was like, she's a protective bitch. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see more of those. I mean, they are still very, very little. So
are your sister's feral cat kittens staying, or are they going somewhere, or what?
no, they're not even keeping the feral cat, which I'm like so bummed about. I was like, Mom, please keep that cat. Like if she is bonded to Betsy, like
it's probably good for both of them, right?
It would be great for both of them. And my uncle is not down for cats. So yeah. I was like, it's an indoor cat. Like, those are the best kind. You make them shit outside and then they come inside.
Yeah, you don't have to clean it up.
Yeah, those are the best kind. So I don't know. I was like, keep the cat, and then if one of them bonds to the cat, the mom cat, keep that one too. But I don't think it's gonna happen, which is super bummer.
Because I'm guessing your parents have no pets.
My parents, yeah, they don't really. I mean, like my sister had a dog that then my parents adopted because she couldn't take care of him. in the stage of life that she was in, and then he recently had to be put down. And I think that my dad would really benefit from a dog, but my mom's like, I don't want a dog that sheds, so we got to get him a poodle. A poodle type.
Good old poodle.
Yeah. But I really think that he would benefit from a dog. They like to travel, so that's why they don't want one necessarily. But he's like, they're like, any animal we bring just gravitates towards your father. I'm like, yeah, that's because he's a fucking amazing human. Like, he loves them.
There's got to be something about certain people that, like, the pets get attracted to them, or they can sense certain things with certain people.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, we should move on now that it's been 30 minutes. But I hope you all got a laugh about out of who my mother is.
Don't call her after 10 o'clock.
Nope. No. Don't expect her to do a goddamn thing.
She'll turn the lights on outside for you, but that's about it.
You want to open the garage door? Okay. We are talking about. Let's see.
Yeah, we are technically answering one listener question, and then we had a couple follow-ups that were related to it.
Yeah, and if you guys want to start sending in more listener questions, we are more than happy to take them because we're running a little low because Ryan decided to do an episode with all of them. No, we both decided it was.
I was going to say, I decided? We sit here right when it starts and we're like, what do you want to talk about? And we say, how about we knock out these 6 questions? So we have 2 left.
We have 4.
Whatever.
Okay. Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Sure. This came from lv.pottery. Hi again, guys. I was wondering if you could talk about production flow for the studio/production pottery. Oh, okay. For the studio/production potter. Okay, I was thinking studio, like for the studio. Okay. Do you set specific quotas for weeks or months or follow a schedule to keep yourself organized? I'd like to keep all parts of the process in motion and create a nice rhythm in my making, but it feels so unorganized sometimes. Have either of you ever found a general schedule to keep all the parts of your pottery business flowing, or do you just forever bounce around based on priority? Thanks. lv.pottery. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways we can go here. Becca, do you want to, we kind of wanted to hit like production with what you do with your day job.
Yeah.
Kind of how we want to bounce around to our own personal studios and like setting goals and flow of making.
For sure. Yeah, we'll hit like the job first because I do feel like Rebecca has a really good system in place for us, and I think it's a good way to kind of emulate, as you will, like look at. Mm-hmm. So we get a list at the beginning of every week and a half-ish, that says all of the things that she needs to be done, and usually there's a priority list, and then we
done like sitting on a greenware cart waiting for a kiln, basically, or
to be thrown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and like that's the weird thing too. Like I'm going to talk about it, but then also I don't have to trim anything. So, but I do like the way she does it. So she sets out a list and it says, "Okay, I need." Here, I'll just read the list that I have right now.
And I'm guessing she has different priorities for different groups. So like this is just referring to the list for the production throwers. Is that right?
This is just my list.
Your list. Okay.
My list. So I from 4 to 9 in priority. I have 12 autism bowls, 12 autism plows, plate bowls.
I was like, what?
Yeah, we're making some bowls that are heavy for some autistic children that they can eat on the couch with instead of eating at the table because there's they're pretty severely autistic, so they just want them to be able to eat. So and then 24 Becca bowls with a spout, 100 small tumblers, 24 dinner plates, 24 salad plates. Okay, so she has all of those, and then I can kind of like prioritize my time the way that I want to do it. And I think that that's a good way to, and we've kind of talked about this, but kind of like setting up a whole list of all the things you want to get done.
For the
And then
week? That
for the
was just
week.
1 week is what that was,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah, for the week. And then just kind of like, I'll go in and be like, okay, this is what I want to do today. I think I want to do those tomorrow. And then those I want to do on Friday, you know? So that's been really helpful for me. And I go in at the same time every day and I try to leave at the same time every day. So, um, uh, being consistent in my time has been really important and really helpful. I go in at 1, I eat lunch until 2, and then I work from 2 to 6. So, and then
Okay.
sometimes I'll work till 7 if I'm, a little bit over time. But yeah, and so that's been like really helpful. And I go in and do my morning, like in the morning I go into my regular studio and finish all the stuff there. But we'll get into that later.
Okay. And then she does different. Is it a little? It's probably a little different because What is the scope of what you do? You only throw. You
I
don't do
only
any
throw.
trimming anymore.
Yeah.
You're not clay
Yeah.
prepping or anything like that.
I I don't pug the clay, but I do weigh out my own clay. And yeah, but I don't trim. So the trimmers just take whatever's driest, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And so going from that, I think that like I mean, I don't know, do you have a system for like you don't really trim, but do you have a system that is kind of like the same thing every week or do you do
No,
something different every week?
I really just balance it out looking at what I have available on my shelves. I'm definitely a stocking up a bisqueware kind of person. I'm
Yeah.
not a make it to completion, and when it's to completion, then I call that piece done. Like,
Mhm.
as long as I have bisqueware, that's what's really important to me because that takes out 2 weeks of the schedule, right? Of work you have to
Yeah.
do, or a week of work that you could turn a piece around in less than a week, like half a week,
Yeah.
just to glaze it, put it in a kiln, and like fill an entire kiln in a couple days. Um, and get the kiln turned around. So Bisqueware is important to me. I guess my big goal for the year is kind of guiding it at a monthly basis. So my big goal for the year is 5,500 pieces for 2022.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just scale it down and say, okay, that's an average of 400 and some odd per month.
Mhm.
Um, I don't really go down to the week level and say like, okay, this week I need to throw 100, and this week I need to throw 100. I really
Mhm.
just do it like as long as I'm balancing it out with, I know I always need to throw some shot glasses, so pretty much every week and a half or 2 weeks I need to throw 60 shot glasses or something like that,
Yeah.
just to like keep those in the mix. And I know if I keep throwing shot glasses and I keep throwing spoon rests, those are definitely a demand item for me that I need to keep in the mix every month. Like if I take a whole month off and not throwing any shot glasses or spoon rests, I'm probably going to be cutting it close. Like it's going to be harder
Mhm.
to get to that goal for the year if I'm not throwing those really cheap, really fast items. But a lot of it is just based on what I feel like throwing and what clay I have weighed out and what I know has a good chance of selling. So
Yeah.
like always, I might have shelves filled with mugs, but I still need to make some mugs here and there, or I know a shop is going to ask for some mugs, and do I have 12 mugs available that I can just give them and not feel the weight of it from my stock?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of like I would say I do kind of plan the week. I don't plan the month as a whole. Like I need to throw this many pieces, these specific pieces this month. It's more
Yeah.
like I set. I did start whiteboarding a list of like these are the forms that I would like to restock over the next couple weeks,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's manageable if I have, you know, my list actually has probably 12 things on it now, so it's a little long and it's a little bit like cumbersome to say like how do I pick from this list of like 12 things, because it's not really a clear direction, because I could just pick any random things out of this 12 item list. But if you have a list of like 6 things, that's a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
And you can prioritize, because I'm not going to get all 12 of those things made. If I do that, I'm going to get like 6 pieces of all 12. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to get, a good chunk of 20 to 30 pieces done in a piece, and then I can cross it off the list.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I plan it. I would say at the week level, I've been getting away from the week to week thing because I just don't have straight 6 hours in the studio 5 days a week or 4 days a week like I might have had during the middle of the winter, just because it's getting warmer outside and we're doing other stuff. That's generally how I would plan that schedule wise.
Yeah. I was thinking about how I used to um do it when I like was full time. I'm full time potter now, but like, well, kind of.
When you're a full time studio potter.
Yeah, like studio potter. And I was just thinking about when you were talking about that, because I'm really motivated by throwing, but I'm not motivated by trimming or handling or glazing or anything like that. And I was thinking that like I naturally like got into a rhythm, So I would throw Sunday night. And like this would just, I think that like maybe throwing or like doing the thing that you like the most at the end of the day is really productive, because it makes your day go faster at the end. It leaves you in a good mood. You're like, I was productive, So for me, it's throwing. So like I threw at the end of the day almost every day, and the next day I would handle in the morning, and then I would glaze during the middle of the day. And then I would, so, and it was like that same thing all the time, and, or I would handle, or I would like, handle in the morning, trim, and then throw, handle, trim, throw, handle, trim, throw. And then one day at the end of the week, I would glaze everything. So I think that that's also good to like kind of get, find out what's your favorite thing or what you don't like to do the most. Like, what can you do in one big batch to get it out of the fucking way? Like for me, glazing is one. Hate glazing. So what am I going to do? I'm going to push that off until Friday. And then I'm just going to glaze everything on Friday and set it to, to fire. So
what's your glazing day? Like, is that like an 8-hour day? Is that a 10-hour day of glazing, or
no? No.
6 hours?
No, it's like 3.
3 hours to glaze everything that you made the whole week?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm just overestimating what you're making in a week.
I had a really good setup. Let's be clear about that, okay? All of my glazes were out, open, and available.
Were they all single dip glazes? Or were you
Nope,
double
double.
dipping? Double dipping. Okay.
Sometimes I would glaze in the night before and then double dip the next day. But like I had a really good, efficient setup. So like it went fast.
Okay.
You know?
I just dread I've got to break up my glazing because I have so many combinations that I have to say like, okay, I got to be fine with only using 4 glazes today and getting maybe 40 pieces done or something like that.
Well, and
like
you
half
think,
a kiln, but
yeah. And you plan out your glazing a lot more than I did. So like, I'm not even wondering what I'm doing. Like I'm dipping 10 mugs in red and then I'm randomly choosing all the things that go on top. Like it's not
okay.
It's not like, oh, yes, I need to do this combination 7 times. It was like, let's see how many fucking combinations I can get done. It's like, doesn't fucking matter. So, yeah, towards the end at least.
Are you a stir a bucket up, use one color at a time, or are you a take the lids off and just go at it?
I'm a stir a bucket up, dip 10, let them dry, stir a bucket up, dip 10, let them dry, stir a bucket up, dip 10, let them dry, stir a bucket up, dip 10, let them dry. Then stir all the buckets up, dip all 10 that were in that same color.
Yeah.
And then dip all 10 that were in the other color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So that second round, you're kind of rapid fire,
Yeah.
just getting them done really quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a stir one bucket up, use every single piece that I can do with that bucket with like a base color. If I have, you know, 3 different color combos that use that base color, I try to like organize it so that I don't have to remix the same glaze in that
Right.
same session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I had also it should be noted that, I have toilet brushes in most of my buckets.
Mm-hmm.
So I would stir all of them up with the drill
Mm-hmm.
all at one time, and then I just kind of like whip it so that the water was off the top.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
just a quick second stir.
yeah.
You probably had a lot more space too, of like spreading out and having. I've
Yeah.
got to like finagle the the shelves, like having shelves on top of kilns and on top of buckets,
Your
and
entire
it's
studio,
tight.
your entire studio was my fucking glaze area. Like like my
Yeah,
glaze room was like 20 by 12.
yeah. So you probably had an entire table of just where you could put pots.
Yeah, I mean, I would put my pots on I just put it on my cart that I always use, but then I transfer them all to shelves.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. Yeah, it was, and then I had it shelving, like shelves of Bisqueware on the side that I would dip in the wax and let those dry. It was a very efficient system.
Yeah,
So, yeah, like
I had to
I
be a
was
little
super
tighter.
fortunate. Super duper fortunate in that regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that it's really anyway, moving back to what we were talking about, I think that it's really important to like find out what you like the most and what you like the least, get the stuff you like the least out of the way first, and then kind of move towards the things you like the most at the end of the day because then you're looking forward to that.
What if you only
And
have 4 hours total? Do you still find benefit in doing 2 different tasks for 4 hours
I do.
over the 4 hours?
I do. I think it's really beneficial to do like or all three, trimming, glazing, throwing. If that's your stitch, right? Like do an hour of glazing, do an hour of trimming, and do 2 hours of throwing. I think that
Just so
that's
you
very
just keep
beneficial.
pieces going along in the process, so you're
Yeah,
not waiting to say, okay, this day has to be trimming day and I have to trim
right.
40 pieces. It's like I can trim 15 pieces
Yeah,
and not feel overwhelmed, but 40 to 50 is just like now I know that's in my entire day. And do I feel like doing that today?
right. Yeah.
Okay.
I felt like that was beneficial to me. But also, you do it totally different, but I would argue that you are a lot different than most of the people in the world.
By like being able to manage mini balls in the air and like
Yeah,
or
and
just the
you're
way that my
really
workflow
motivated.
goes. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and you're like really motivated and you don't mind the mundane stuff, like you doing the same thing over and over is very okay with you, you know. So,
Yeah, I kind of like this step of like if I throw a bunch of shot glass, I do kind of bookend some days when I'm throwing to like bookend it with shot glasses because it's nice to see a board of like 40 shot glasses. And then the next
totally.
day I know that I'm going to come in and I'm going to thumb off the bottom and stamp the bottom of 40 shot glasses. And then I put them on the board
Yeah.
and they're done and they're just sitting. It's like that was easy.
Yeah.
That was
Look at
like,
what I did.
that's like an hour of work, right? You got like 30 minutes of throwing 40 of them or maybe 45 minutes, whatever. And then like 30 minutes of stamping all of them or 20 minutes of stamping all of them. Probably 40 or so because you got to wait for some to dry and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty quick and you feel like accomplished because it was like that's the shortest amount of time that I can get a lot of finished pieces on a shelf and just waiting and just drying. Like it's super easy. So I like that, like those small pieces that are super quick that make you feel accomplished. I always like to trickle those in. So if you're wondering if you're having success and trying to feel like a little jolt of like satisfaction in getting work finished, I would say throw in some small pieces like every week make some small pieces so that you get something accomplished. Uh
Yeah.
Like the spoon rest or the saucers or the shot glasses, like those are the ones that just keep me feeling confident every week of okay, I'm
Yeah.
getting some progress made. Whether I get whether I get pieces out of a glaze kiln or don't get a I get a bisque kiln fired, like that also makes me feel really accomplished. Like I just unloaded a bisque kiln today. That's like, okay, that was the end of a few weeks of work and I got them all out of the bisque and they're all good. Like that makes me feel accomplished for sure. Unloading kilns is like great for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I feel like I don't know. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. I feel like I don't have any schedule now. I'm kind of like on a weird um like update situation where I'm like, okay, let's just get this fucking shit show body out of work, like
Mhm.
moving, you
Get it
know.
out of here. Do you get um when you do the update or when you're planning because leading up to the update is what's important, like that date and making sure everything's ready, you got stuff photographed, whatever. It's mostly like admin computer task kind of to get that stuff ready and documenting and like marketing it. But do you get that itch to want to make some new stuff, or is it like you want to bookend it so it's like let's focus on getting this stuff out as much as possible and
Yeah.
then I can start making?
Yeah, I do that. I do not feel like I enjoy what I'm doing within the whole pot world anymore. Like,
Really?
yeah, it's like sad but true. It's like I'm like, "Ugh, I just need to get this fucking out of here. Like, I just need to like do this because this is my job, and it's fine. I don't like hate it. It's just I do find myself being
Do you
like,
say you're talking specifically about your personal work?
yeah, the personal work. Like, I like it. I like seeing the way they come out, and I like the end result. But like going through the process, I'm like,
During
and
the making or when you gotta go time to sell it?
the making.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that I'm just like such a production person.
What if you
And
do you feel that way when you make the shitty cups?
no, I love making shitty cups.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm just like a weird production person where like the fancy cups are fun. They're like fun to see the result of, but like the process is such a pain in the fucking ass. And like I made like a bunch of planters. That was so much fun. Like the last week I made
Mhm.
probably like 40 planters. It was great, you
Yeah.
know? And like
Well, I mean, it's way different, right?
it took me
Your
10 minutes to
job,
glaze them yesterday. 10 minutes.
10 minutes to glaze 40 of them.
Like
That's super quick, yeah.
just like dip them and go. Like that's it, you know?
I mean, that's in your blood when you're working your day job, like efficiency and making stuff
Yeah.
quickly and making a lot of them on a daily basis is like that's your job. So
Yeah.
it's probably, does it feel like you're not being as productive with the slower pieces that you're making, or is it just
Maybe.
the process just so intense and so involved?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's both. And like I don't know, like it's also just like, oh, I have to go to the studio to sand these things and so that they'll be like dry tomorrow. I don't mind painting them. I like painting them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so it's dry tomorrow and like I think it is the whole schedule of things. Like, you're like, okay, I've decided that I want to sell them on this date, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do
Mm-hmm.
this, and I have to make sure that this and this and this and this firing goes through. And, it's very like timed,
Do you feel like
which
you
is
self-impose the schedule because otherwise you're not motivated enough to do it?
yes.
Okay. I think some people do that themselves, like, and maybe it's not a public schedule that they post and say this is the
Yeah.
update date, but they put like a mental schedule. But also, some people are probably giving themselves kind of ways out, like give themselves excuses to say, you know what, I can't meet that schedule because something happened,
Something
rather
happened.
than like pushing yourself to say, like, I set myself this schedule for a reason.
Yeah. I
Although
know,
it's
like
just kind of ambiguous, right? You put a date out there, nobody's holding you to that date, but if you put it publicly, you're kind of holding yourself to it a little bit.
I know, like part of me is like, man, Becca, why can't you just have a fucking job and like no hobbies? Like Like, why can't you just like go to work and then come home, sit on your couch, eat spaghetti, and go to sleep? Like, that sounds like a wonderful life. Maybe paint something now and then. Why do you have to sell everything? I say this to myself often, and then I'm like, maybe I should just give up pottery. And then I'm like, oh, but if I give up pottery, I'm fuck out of luck if I lose my job in some way. Not that I would lose my job, but like if I decide to leave or whatever, then what do I
Yeah.
do? Oh, maybe I could cut hair. Oh, but you have carpal tunnel. You can't do that. Like, oh, maybe I'll just get a fucking job at like, I don't know, Best Buy. I'm like, probably not Best Buy. They're going out of business. But like,
That's fine. Lowe's.
yeah, like Lowe's or something, or like Sherwin-Williams again. Like, I don't know. Oof. Oof,
Is it
Nicky
because you need
McMahon.
the extra money, or the extra money is driving you to meet your other goals?
I think that I've set these goals that I really don't even need, and I feel like I have to hit them. Yeah, I don't need the money. I mean, like, I make enough money to live, and I'm a little bit paycheck to paycheck right now, but like, also, so anyway, back to what we're talking about.
I mean, we were talking about the schedule and like if you feel motivated to make new stuff, but then we got on the, are you passionate about what you're making, or are you excited about what you're making? So like, does it get you in the groove of making the next batch? But
Right.
I mean, have you tried, like, what if you just tried not doing as much sanding? Like, what if you just sanded the bottom edge that's not painted or something? Or
Ryan,
I don't know.
no. No.
No.
There's something fucking magical about the cups and how they turn out, and they're great.
Okay. So you're
And
like, you're just venting about the process because it's
I
like,
think
I
I
put
am.
myself into this, but I know that it's worth it in the end.
It is worth it in the end. I will say that this last update made me kind of sad because it was my favorite update so far, and it's been the least selling. And all the things that have sold were all the stuff that I had in my last update. Like the polka dotties.
Because they were discounted?
No, well, I mean, yeah, the discounted ones sold, but like I did some more like polka dots on the new stuff, and those all sold, and I was like, oh, nobody likes my style, which I already knew, but
I
like,
mean, when you were over the place a little bit, like the bowls and stuff. I was
yeah,
thinking you were gonna do like, would you make some new bowl? Like, you're not sworn off bowls now, right? Would you try bowls, but just in a different style that
yeah,
has a better chance of selling?
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know why people don't like my style. Like, why?
It could have just been a timing thing. I mean, I told you personally, I was iffy on the color contrasts and the
I know
combos.
you don't like it, and that's what I don't understand is because I fucking love them, and like even Isaac was like, they're not my favorite. They're not my least favorite, but they're not my favorite, and I was like,
Why are
why
they
the fuck is
your
that?
Why are they your favorite? Maybe that's what you need to explain more
I
to
think it's
people.
because there's so much color. That's why they're my favorite.
Like the whole, like it's completely covered in color.
Yeah. And like the color combos to me, like the pinks and the blues and the yellows and the blacks and like those like bold, stark, contrasting colors are my favorite. And yeah. This was not supposed to be about me venting. Okay.
But we're talking about schedules and like what's motivating you to keep a schedule. Like that has to do with what keeps you on a schedule. Like if you're not motivated to do anything and to keep going after a update, how do you set yourself up for that?
Yeah, I don't know.
For quotas, or does it help to? Okay, this might spark a good discussion. Does keeping in the mix of like making things that have a demand, that have a demand in your work, is that something that you should definitely factor into like your schedule?
Yes.
Like keeping a flow of always make something that's going to be in demand that you're going to want to,
Yeah.
that will sell. Because I mean, if you make stuff for a month and it's all just fun stuff that, um, you make a bunch of big stuff, maybe a bunch of pictures or
Yeah.
fancy things that, and I'm not trying to put this back to you, but if you spend a month making things that you're not sure if they're going to sell or not, and then you have customers that are like asking you, when are you going to put more mugs up? But it's like, I'm only
Right.
making planters this month.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
And like, I'm actually, by the way, I'm actually very happy that they didn't all sell because I do have a show on Friday and I'm really excited to take them to the show on Friday and see how people think about them in person. So I'm not upset that they didn't sell. I'm just like, I
you're
just
just a
know
little
that
bummed.
no, it's just that I know that nobody likes my style and it makes me sad. And so, like, the style that I love, nobody loves. And it makes me sad, but I also know this because I'm a fucking weirdo and like I know this.
I mean,
Um
part of making the world go round is that you have something sellable so that you can pay that's what keeps the money flowing so you can keep making the thing, right?
yeah,
So it's like finding that
true.
balance between what you like and what somebody else likes that can buy it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, people really like the last ones and they really like the geometric ones, so I should probably do more of those. Um yeah, for sure. I think that
It was kind of like making sure to like mix in some things that will sell.
yeah.
Is kind of what that sparked up.
Yeah. It's funny because this person's like, I feel so unorganized sometimes. I remember always feeling completely unorganized when I was doing pottery, like in my basement. But it always like ended up fine. But I
Hmm.
was always like, God, I feel like a fucking space cadet,
What do
you
you think
know?
makes it unorganized? Is it that
There's just so
you
many moving parts.
like there's so many things that you could make that it just stifles you to say I just don't know what to commit to making.
Yeah, and I do feel like back in the day, I had so many fucking things that I made.
Hmm.
Like, sponge holders, mugs, pour overs, pinch pots, like hand built stuff, different mugs, like five different
Yeah.
mug shapes, and like that. Once I simplified my process or my
Hmm.
items, I suppose, like once I was making one mug,
Yeah.
one bowl, like once I simplified it to that, it was definitely a lot easier to keep track of. And I feel like you're
Oh,
kind of in that position where
I
you
just
have,
think of that back in the day when I just used one clay body. How nice that was.
oh, right.
But also, it's like my other clay body, the speckled clay body, opens up to a different customer base because it's got that
Hmm.
speckled, it's got that earthy, it's got that like
Yeah.
kind of like hip sort of. I don't know. Like there's a demand for some of that, and it's like some people just gravitate to that, and that's all they like about my stuff, and it's like that's all right because I don't mind making it, but yeah, the exponential like growth of what I need to make. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, now I need to make straight-sided mugs in this clay and this clay, and then I need to do some with some glass in it, and some bottles with glass, some bottles without glass, some bottles that are carved. You know, it's like, oh.
There's just a lot. It's like
I feel like I
I
would be
was
bored though if I only made like three different, not just forms, but like three different styles or like one style.
mhm.
Like I only focused on like basic bitch style
Yeah.
and made no carved things or
Right.
added no glass, anything
Right.
simple that's like, it just adds a little different interest that people like look twice and like, how did you get that? Or like, what is that?
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, could you make like a mug that's like a volcano shape ish? Okay. Work with me here. Maybe like a traveler's mug shape where it was like a volcano and then straight up and then carve the volcano but carve it like a maze and then put glass at the top of the maze. And so like when the glass melts it has to go down the maze.
Are you trying to ask me for a commission right now?
No, I'm trying to ask you to do this so that we can see what happens.
So sgraffito, or not even sgraffito, just carving a raw mug.
Or whatever. And then
And
put
I
put
don't think
little
the glass is gonna move that far though. The glass doesn't move, but like the vertical surface. So like if you add zigzags and stuff, it's gonna hit the zig, and then it's gonna slow down, and then it's gonna slow down the more it
that's
moves.
that's why is science like that?
Unless you used a really big piece of glass, but I would say if you use too big of a piece of glass, it's going to run down and then it's going to hit that zig and it's going to
And then go
overflow
over
it
it.
and then it's going to go down.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I was glazing all um these planters, and I was like, I asked Mary, oh my fucking goodness. So we got this. I am so sorry that I'm all over the place today. I've had a really bad headache today, but also I don't know why. Anyway, I got this mystery glaze from Rebecca, like the bucket filled up, and so they gave it to me, and I was like, hey, could you do a test of it first? It's magnanimous. It is beautimous beyond all belief. It is.
What color is it
It's a
close to?
dark gray green, so it's kind of like your t-shirt right now, but like
Mine's like an army green
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of.
yeah. So put more gray in it, and it's that color, and it's shiny. So it's the same gray that Gravesco has. Gravesco has a matte gray, and I don't think she has any around here. So she has a matte gray. It's the matte gray, but it's shiny, and it is beautiful. Beautiful. And I was like, Merritt, can I just dip all of these planters in this? And she's like, Becca, no. You have to choose some different colors.
You have
And
to
I'm
mix
like,
it. I would that risk would just like I'd be like, no way. I have 40. I can do like if I'm really happy with it and like I think people are gonna like it, I'll do like maybe 10. But I'm not gonna do 40.
I know I did about 10 in that gray, and then I did a bunch in white. But like, you know those potters that like just have white and black? Like Rebecca's doing like what she's got like white, gray, and black.
Hmm.
And
That must be so simple,
it is
so
so
easy.
simple, and like people just eat that shit up. And we just try so hard to make our life so goddamn complicated. And
Yeah.
like
Why do I need like 15 glaze combinations? Why
like
can't I just stumble? Why can't I just pick like two combos? But I would just think of like a customer walking by at a show and they see my booth and they're like, okay, they only have these two combos. If they don't match what I have in my house, I'm just gonna keep walking.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like we make our lives so goddamn complicated, and then but also like we kind of need to, but at the same time like we'd have a really fucking easy ass schedule if all we had was white, gray, and black.
and
Like,
imagine if you only made like planters or
oh my
planters and
god.
mugs. Like how easy would that be?
Planters, mugs, and like cups. Like that's it.
Yeah,
Planters, mugs, and cups.
man.
We are doing life all wrong.
Somebody asked one of my consignment shops wrote me a couple days ago when they sent me a check and they wrote a question about a customer was asking if you make any lidded casserole or
Absolutely
whatever
not.
dishes and I they were like please let us know and I just emailed her. I was like, I do not currently or in the short or midterm plan on making any lidded or casserole dishes. Thanks for letting me know, or thanks for reaching out.
You know who
They were
makes
like,
really
I'm
good
pretty
lidded.
sure you didn't, but I figured we'd ask. So
Yeah. Do you know who makes really good lidded casseroles? Oh shit, what's his name?
is it an Instagram person?
Yeah. No, Facebook. Clay Buddies. I want to say it's Paul.
I don't know who.
He
If
has the
it's Clay
cat.
Buddies, I don't know who it is.
Anyway, I haven't been on Facebook in eons, but yeah, there's a few potters out there that make really good lidded casseroles.
Yeah, I'm very easily able to say I don't plan on making that, and one
Yeah.
customer is not going to be enough. Even if the consignment shop was like, we have a bunch of customers in one year, I would be like,
No.
Sam Hitchman that's there has some. Get some of his, please. Because I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
I do not the effort that. Plus, if I go through a consignment shop, they're going to want to cut, right? So
yeah.
if I make this, it's going to be experimental. I'm going to go through growing pains of figuring out how the hell to make this. It's going to take up more space in my kiln. I'm going to run the risk of like, what if a customer puts it in the oven, it cracks, it breaks, I'm going to have to make another one, or what am I confident with saying like it can go in there? How do you use it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just like,
It's like, you know what? Leave the casseroles to the 70-year-old men who know how to fucking make some casseroles. Like, leave it to them. They have been making casseroles for eons. Ever since the casserole was
yeah.
popular,
I'm
they
like,
have
I
been
just don't
making
want to make anything
casseroles.
in two pieces. I don't
Yeah.
want to work on anything that's separate that has to fit together.
Hmm.
Like, I'll put a handle on a mug, but I'm not making like a lidded jar. Like, no thanks. That's on my. I don't want to make it. I don't intend on making it. The price point's not going to be worth it. I'm not going to enjoy it.
That's a butter crock.
So I'm no, thank you.
Thanks, but no. Thank you. Next.
I mean, it's hard
Thank
enough for
you.
me to make like a
Next.
pitcher, like a large mug. Like I'm not making like I barely make 4-pound pitchers. I know they sell, but
Oh, I have another thing that is good with scheduling. You know what really helped with my scheduling and like figuring out is cutting out customs. Boy, did that really like narrow down the schedule because customs just tend to just like whack you right out of order.
oh yeah, I've got these flasks that are in my damp box that I made with Liz on our
Yeah.
live, and they're still in my damp box. I've only finished one of them, and I have it on my list to like get back and finish a couple of them. And
Yeah.
I put that down on the priority list of
Hey,
finishing.
can I carve one when I'm out there next week?
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be
carve one.
fun. Yeah, I could do like a cool geometric carving.
Oh yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And then we can use diamond core and then we can like make a joke.
You can make a joke. I like the diamond core stuff.
I know, but we can make a joke that I'm using it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, also I should mention that we forgot to say our big news.
What is our big news?
We don't have big news, but I won 2 microphones this week.
Oh yeah, you did. I was surprised. I wonder
Yeah.
if did you think we legit won those, or do you think he just like knew us and he's like they're gonna use them. They got an audience. It's gonna improve. They're gonna get return on investment here.
I don't know because yeah, I was definitely thinking that. I was like, okay, he
Because
had
why does a
met.
single person need 2 microphones?
Yeah,
That
right. Okay, yeah. So here's the deal. It was David, I forget his last name,
Gibson. I think it's
Gibson,
Gibson.
David Gibson, and Samson, Samson, like Samson and Delilah, and Samson Technologies, and they were doing a giveaway, and I saw it before last week. We talked about it, and I made him enter and me enter, and now he had just videotaped at Gravesco, and I had entered. I don't think that he knew who I was until he like looked, but I do think that he maybe saw that I hosted a podcast. And I mean, like, if I was giving away 2 microphones, I wouldn't want to give them like the first prize was 2 microphones and then 4 people got regular ones. And if I was giving 2 away, I'd kind of like look at the profiles and be like, who will actually use this? You
Yeah.
know? And I have a feeling that maybe we were the ones that would.
So we won, but there's no proof that what we're saying actually happened. But
We won, but we don't know if there was a bias or not, and we don't really care. Um, because Ryan needed a new microphone anyway, and
I
now we're gonna be
mean,
able to have the
do
same one.
I? I mean, yours sounds better than mine for sure.
Yes, you do need one so that we sound amazing together.
Yes.
We need to be in the big leagues.
You know what? We could, well, probably not in
What?
the future, but I was thinking like if we were recording in person with somebody, we could like each person could have their own rather than just having one in the middle, but I don't know
That's
what
true.
logistics would go into that.
That's a lot.
But
Yeah,
maybe
that's
down the
true.
road.
Yeah. But yeah, very exciting. And like, they're like $150 microphones. So it's not like it's not like a drop in the bucket money wise.
Yeah.
So,
And I was thinking about getting the same microphone that you got because yours sounds
hmm
like
it's real
nice.
good. Yeah, it's the only good thing that Jamil got me. Um,
So let's see, what else in this question did we not hit? What about I mean, we kind of talked a little bit about the priorities, but I definitely prioritize just there's a lot of mixing up things I'm making based on what I feel like making. That's probably
Yeah.
why I make so many different things because I just don't want to get stuck with, okay, I only make shot glasses, I only make mugs, I only make planters. I just don't want to be like handles are kind of a part for me when I have, you know, like handling like 15. Usually I get in the groove of it and I like it, but getting over that hump of initially like, okay, today's the day I'm gonna start handling stuff, and then by the time you get it in the groove, you're like, okay, but then it's like 2 hours fly by and you get, 20 things handled or 15 things handled, and it's like it doesn't feel like that much, but I made a good dent in my damp box, so.
Yeah. I also think that we forget while we make our schedules or like internally make our schedules about the things that take time that aren't recognized, like clay prep. If you don't have an assistant or whatever,
Right.
or cleaning the studio, or business stuff like having to go online or shipping something. I don't think that we really schedule time. Like, I would say
Oh,
most people
definitely.
probably don't schedule time for the oddities. And so I think that that would be a good, maybe what might be a successful thing to do is to schedule under the time that you have to work so that you are reaching your expectations at the end of the day, even with the odd things that go in. So,
Hmm.
like, say, okay, I know that I can throw 60 small items, 60 wine glasses in an hour. Okay. But that clay prep is going to take me 30 minutes, probably,
Hmm.
especially with my ADHD. And let's say that I wanted to also glaze 60 pieces in a day, and I also wanted to handle 60 pieces. Okay. Let's just do it 60, 60, 60. So it's going to take me an hour to handle plus the prep time. So maybe an hour and a half, an hour to glaze, and an hour to throw. Okay. I'm going to schedule 5 hours for that
Hmm.
because I know that I'm going to have like ups and downs within that time, and I'm going to kind of like have things that take a little bit longer, a little bit less time, you
Are
know.
you more likely to actually finish the task or to say this is taking longer than I thought, so I'm going to stop here and go to the next thing?
I would finish it and then spend like 5 bajillion years in the studio. But I think that that's why maybe scheduling out the time longer to meet your time constraints, you know,
And
and like,
would you personally do that as trim, glaze, throw? Because you said you wanted to end your
yeah,
night
I'd probably
throwing
do
because
that.
you like doing that the most. So
Yeah.
trim, glaze, throw. Okay.
Or handle glazer or whatever. Yeah, I'd probably do it that way. And I think that, like, let's say I only had 4 hours that day, I'd cut down those numbers. My handling is non-negotiable, right? So I have to handle probably 60. But then maybe I'd only glaze 30 and throw 45, you know?
Hmm.
So like keep that in mind that you're always going to take longer than what you say.
Hmm.
You're like, yeah, I can throw 60 cups in an hour, but does that mean it's going to take me an hour to do it? No, it's going to take me an hour and a half,
Right. Because you got
and
the prep before, the cleanup after.
yeah,
Yeah,
be realistic about that.
I rarely throw if I only have an hour to do something. I'm not gonna throw
Mhm.
at the end of the night. If I handle a bunch of stuff and I'm like, okay, it's 11 o'clock. Am I gonna throw something for an hour if I haven't thrown it all tonight? I'm not gonna throw. I'm probably gonna like go to my damp box and maybe knock out a few carved pieces because they've been sitting in there forever and I need to get to them eventually. Carving like 4 pieces in an hour is, that little bit of a bump is going to help my damp box situation as well as just make me feel like, okay, I'm good. Like I should have done those anyways. So I would be overwhelmed if all I had to do was, okay, I have 6 hours. All I'm going to do is carve for 6 hours. I know my hand can't take it. My like back and neck and stuff can't take just carving for 6 hours. So it's like I got to like trickle that stuff in over time.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, I rarely would do 3 things in a night. Of course,
Well,
I only have the evening, so
right. I mean, like, I think that this generally goes towards like full time.
mhm. Do we look up their stuff and see
We did not.
how their
It's LV pottery, right?
LV dot pottery? They got some speckled clay.
Did you see that Black Rain Pottery made her mom write a checkout for her mug?
I saw that.
I was like, I literally commented, I was like, yes, bitch. And she was like, it made me think of you.
Hey, I see she's making some spoon rests. Mixing in some
Nice.
spoon rests in there. I like that. Yeah, so she's making production stuff. She's making a lot of mugs, a lot of bowls, spoon rests.
Oh shit, I lost it. Is it LVL pottery?
LV dot pottery.
Oh shit.
She's got some
LV
oil
dot.
bottles in there. She's got some cool glazes.
Oh nice. The whole 3 lines down. Those are cool. I like the little geometric stuff. Oh nice. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure if she's full time, but
What I would say, just looking at your stuff, is that it looks like you have a lot of different shapes. I think you could simplify them. It looks like you're just
as in if you're making bottles, like they are a bunch of different shapes of bottles, or just overall
yeah, and
like
like the
bottles,
mugs,
mugs,
yeah, and like
bowls.
the mugs, there's a lot of different shapes of mugs, so it looks like, you know, wow, I really like that bowl. Um, but I mean, like your stuff looks great. It's very cohesive. Cool. Cool beans. Freestone, California. I wonder if that is.
Freestone.
Looking it up. Freestone, California. It is. Ooh.
I'm
Oof,
gonna
oof,
guess
oof.
northern.
Yeah, it's north of San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of
She's
by
probably
Santa Rosa.
okay. I was gonna say she's probably kind of near where Sacramento was this year. Maybe.
No, well, yes. Yeah. Probably there. She's a little bit east.
Okay.
West. Sorry, not east. West of Sacramento. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So we had a couple follow-ups here. And we kind of touched on it a little bit. So I asked a couple of these, but do you feel more productive focusing on one thing straight or balancing 2 to 3 things at once? I guess that's more like a body of work sort of thing, or just um I personally have to mix it up just because I can't do the same thing for like 4 hours or 5 hours.
Yeah, and I'm the
Like
opposite.
damp box wise, if I have like 60 mugs on a board, I'm usually working boards at a time, so it's usually like
Mm-hmm.
20 of something, or if I'm using the bats, it's usually 15 of something because the 15 will fit on these boards pretty good, and that's manageable. But if it's like spoon rests, I'll make like 50 or 60 of those because those are quick and easy to make. But mugs, I cannot. I'm not gonna make 60 mugs or 2 boards of mugs because that's just overwhelming to put those
Yeah.
in damp box because I'm gonna take forever to handle those, and they take up a lot of space in the damp box once you stack up too high. But also like you're gonna fill a damp box with like 30, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have like 6 damp boxes, but
That's the other thing is that
Five
you
of
work with damp boxes. I never worked with damp boxes really. Like a little bit, but not much.
Right
And
now, most of the stuff in there are Sgraffito stuff. So it's a lot
right.
of underglaze
Okay.
or slip stuff that my assistant's been doing the slip work for me for all of it. So
Yeah.
I kind of have pieces ready. I have them in damp boxes, and I'm like, hey, can you put some black slip on 6 of these bowls today?
Yeah.
And she's doing that, or she's like
Yeah.
underglazing some stuff. So the damp boxes are mainly for that, but also I have mugs in there too, so that I don't have to handle
Yeah.
them the next day.
It's just that damp boxes give you the opportunity to wait a day if you want to,
Or
you know,
weeks or
or
a
weeks
couple
or
months or whatever.
whatever. Yeah. Whereas, do you have plaster?
Yeah. In the damp box?
No, 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 just dry plaster.
Yeah. Are you gonna make a damp box?
No, but I kind of need to just make a plaster slab.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have pottery plaster. I have
Yeah.
like a 5-gallon bucket of it.
Yeah, that I could just pay you for.
Yeah, or you could just make it when you're here. Cause I need to make a reclaim bat anyways. Cause mine is kind of
Yeah.
like 2 capacity with how quickly my reclaim
Yeah. I want to
dries.
make a reclaim bat and put it on. Yeah, I really need to make a reclaim bat.
What are you reclaiming?
I have like 2 buckets of scraps.
Okay. Where do you do scraps? Because you're trimming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately. I wouldn't have that much if I was just throwing.
Okay.
But it's
Well,
just
yeah,
like
you kind of
slop
have the
too.
sharp angles and stuff, so
Yeah.
yeah, you are trimming them.
Yeah, there's a bit of trimmings. But yeah, and there was some like clay that got fucked up and shit, so it's all that stuff and some white bear, some dark stars, some porcelain, some
Hmm.
but yeah. Um
What about focusing on work like forms? Right now you're making stuff in your personal studio. Did it help? Like what made you want to make the planters or the bowls that you're making? Was that kind of hey, I've got shows coming up, I need to make some other items, or was it
the
like for
planters were
sanity?
the planters were only for shows, like, and they were just shitty planters, they're just shitty planters. But yeah, but doing the bowls, it was like, oh, I have a little bit more clay. It might be fun to like make a bowl. Like people tend to like bowls, but apparently not. Um, they're really expensive bowls though. Oof.
Oh man, we were at my parents this weekend and some we had some spaghetti on the weekend on Friday, and we used the good old Becca pasta bowls. I'm like, man, these things are nice.
Dude, I love the classic Becca bowls. Rebecca just asked me to make some bowls for this fucking auction or something. It's not even an auction. Like somebody like paid thousands of dollars just so that they could have a glazing experience at Gravescone. I was like, wow, they're gonna be disappointed. Um
So they just need bisqueware to glaze.
yeah. So I'm making 24 small plates, 24 medium plate or large plates, and then I'm making like 24 bowls. And she was like, yeah, maybe you should just make the bowls not like any of our bowls so that we know what they look like.
I don't even know what your bowls look like. Gravescoat bowls.
They
Are
all
they
look
like?
like they look like my bowls now because I make them all.
Are they just like typical,
Yeah.
like kind of 5x5 or 6x6 kind of
Yeah,
bowls?
there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of different ones, but yeah. And so I was like, "Oh, I'll just make my old school pasta bowls.
Oh man,
1.5 pounds of clay.
those are so nice.
Those are so nice. Oof, oof, oof. Like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Does it get to be kind of, well, I mean, when you make them in your own studio, you take them from start to finish, so maybe there's not that feeling, but would you feel a little iffy making the exact same thing that you make at Gravescope just with your own clay body and stuff? Do you feel like you have to make something a little different?
Well, it depends because like a lot of the stuff that she's made, I designed first, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, not the stuff, not, okay, that sounded terrible. That's not what I meant. Like, a lot of the times she's like, hey, do you want to make Becca bowls? And I designed Becca bowls like
Hmm.
2, 3 years ago. And I'm like, sure, yeah, let's make Becca bowls. And we have Becca bowls, we have baby Becca bowls, and then we're going to have fucking monster Becca bowls sometime.
Yeah.
And so, like, a lot of the things that I'm making, like the cups,
The
you know,
tumblers or cocktail cup,
the
like
cocktail
those.
cups are my design. Like, because she was like, "Hey, make these the way you make them." And I was like, "Okay." And it doesn't bother me, and I know my stuff is going to be completely different than hers, and it doesn't bother her either because she's successful in her own way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I'm like going out there and like competing against my boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're on the same we're literally in the same fucking show, and she was like, "You should do this show." And it's like, we just are
Right.
good that way. But yeah, no, I don't think it
But
doesn't
if you
bother me.
made tumblers that you took to,
I am
like,
gonna make wine glasses that I take to
okay,
the
are they
show.
like the shitty cup ones, or are
Yeah, the
they
shitty cup
basically
ones.
similar to the? Okay,
But they're just taller than the
yeah,
ones that I would make at Gray's
and the
Co. And
colors are completely different. The clay's completely different,
colors
so
are
it kind of
completely different in
does
the clay. Yeah,
like
and
separate
it
yourself.
is different. But yeah, like yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. Like we have very similar styles, and we always have had very similar styles.
Hmm.
It's not a competition. There's tons of people in the fucking world, you
Hmm.
know. For us at least. She's
Yeah,
got all these different clients and stuff, and like a show on a weekend, like I'm gonna sell my cups for 15 and she's gonna sell hers for 35. Like, you know,
yeah, and she probably doesn't do shows that much, so she would probably bring clientele that doesn't see her very often
exactly.
in
Yeah.
person, so they're coming
She,
specifically for some of her stuff with those
she was
colors and.
like, yeah, she was like, I usually make about $1,000 at a show like that, like 4 hours. And I was like, well, fuck, I'm not gonna make that much. I was like, I am shit at shows. So I'll be lucky if I pull 400. Thank you. My expectations are low.
You're more like, did I have a good time and did I
Yeah.
kind of meet expectations a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know. I
getting
mean,
higher expectations for
it's like a
shows, but
$40 show. Like if I make $100, I did fine.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I'm getting higher expectations with what I expect from them. And I also just like kind of know what I'm doing and like know what to expect with myself, my own like selling abilities and what types of work sell well and doesn't sell well. And I don't know. It's hard to like put a finger on like how I know that I'm going to sell about $750 at this one show.
yeah.
Besides, like, I've done it before and I know I pretty much average about that. But there's something about a certain show and like the type of vendors they have, as well as the area, and just like it's 1 day or 2 day. It's like, I think I'm going to sell about 1,500.
Yeah.
Like, that would be good. But I'm not like super disappointed if I don't. But it's like there's factors that go into like
Yeah.
what I think is going to do well.
I was telling Merritt that I feel like a misfit toy at shows because like I was saying, if I felt confident in the way that I am, like I am confident in the way that I am, but if I had enough money to like make a booth the way that I fucking want to make a booth, I'd sell the shit out of my pots. Like, but I've always just like tried to fit in with the cool kids and like gotten the shelves that the cool kids have and like, like tried to like make my booth presentable like Andrew and not Linderman. Um his booth is cool, but but I was talking about Andrew, my best friend. But it's just like I've tried to like make it so it looks like
Yeah.
it's like presentable to moms that are like 25 to 35. But me trying to do that looks like I'm trying too fucking hard because I am who I am and I'm quirky as shit. And
Hmm.
like, and so like I have these weird ass pots on these like nice ass shelves and it just looks so fucking dumb and I'm doing it all over again. Like I'm like I can't like get out of this fucking I wanted to have like if it was up to me and I was showing up this amp show, right, that I'm doing on
Hmm.
Friday, I would show up with a fucking folding table. I wouldn't even have a fucking tablecloth, and I'd just pile my shit on the table and just have a sign that says shitty pots. Like that's what it would look like, just like it looked like at your show.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I had to go to Amazon and buy a fucking folding shelf because Rebecca said it was really good, and I know it is. And
The
then I got
shelf or the show?
the shelf. And it's like one of those origami shelves. And I know it'll look really good. And then I got the 2 folding tables that she got, and I spent like $250 on like this booth setup. And it's gonna look really fucking great. And my pots are gonna look really fucking bad on the really fucking great shelves. And
But you got your fancy pots too, though.
I know, but it's still like just not the right aesthetic. Like it's just not. Like I don't know what my aesthetic is. My
Did
aesthetic
you
is fucking
did you bring some of your hanging shelves with you from Washington, or would you have to
no.
recreate all of that?
I would have to recreate everything, and I'm just tired. So
Yeah, that's usually that takes some forethought. Like I got a bunch of barnwood from a friend out here,
yeah,
and it's stored in the shed outside. That's like under tarp and it's like sealed. But the show setup, it's like I know what I'm doing with what I got, and I don't like spending a day or 2 days like building things to make my show setup. It's just
yeah,
like just low on the priority list. But I know
yeah,
I'm probably gonna do my first show with what I had last year, and it'll be fine. It'll be whatever. Just like my like tent weights or like the concrete and the PVC, and the PVC's all cracked on like two of them, and
yeah,
like it'll be fine. Like the weights on my tent don't really matter that much that I need to re-pour some new concrete and rebuild those. But um yeah, the tent setup is just I feel like it definitely has an impact, but like, you know, can I still
oh,
display my stuff just as well with what I had last year and what I've been using the
yes,
last 2 years or 4 years or 3 years or whatever?
yeah,
Or is there little improvements that will like actually help me? If it's gonna help me like load my stuff in my car and like make it more efficient in the vehicle, I would weigh that heavier over is it gonna like really bump the needle at the show?
yeah, yeah. Like if I had my setup that I had in Washington, that setup was fucking nice. You know, the one with all the
Hmm.
shelves like on both sides, like
And you got rid of that because of just space in the storage unit, or you just wanted to do away with it?
no, I
'Cause
didn't. Well,
you kept your tent.
you
You
have to
kept your
remember
tents.
that when I moved here, I thought I was moving here in like a fucking trailer that was the size of a closet, and then I ended up taking a U-Haul. Like, I thought I was going to move in like an 8 by 5 foot trailer, and then I ended up buying, or not buying, but ended up renting a whole truck. And
Hmm.
like, I would have had the space to move that stuff, but because I didn't think that I was going to have that until like a week before, I I
And that
ended
was
up
mainly because
selling
your
it or giving it all
vehicle.
away. Yeah, my car wasn't strong enough to pull the trailer. So, yeah, I like ended up changing up my whole plans on how I was moving. So I sold a lot, like I sold my baby kiln. Big mistake. I sold, like all these I didn't bring my chair. Big mistake.
What
Like
chair? Oh, the Eames chair.
the really no, it's not an Eames chair, but the really nice one that I traded 8 cups for.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, so I just didn't know what I was getting into, and so I couldn't, move that booth with me. But I mean, it still wouldn't work. Like, what show are you going to get a 10 by 20 booth like that?
But
That
could you scale that down to 10 by 10 and it would be for you, it would work? Okay.
it might, it might. I would be worried about the shelves being knocked in. I'd have to drill them down somehow, which is fine. But
It takes a lot of planning and a lot of
yeah, it just
figuring
needs
out,
the way
especially
that the
when you,
ladders were set up. They needed a support that was on the side,
yeah.
So, and the shelves are 8 feet, not 10 feet.
Hmm.
So, you know, it was just a whole thing. But,
Yeah.
um,
I mean, do
yeah.
you at least have um some have you had to apply for shows where you needed like photos and stuff of your stuff? Do you
No,
have that ready? No?
no.
Because you were asking me about shows to apply for, and I was like, I can send you some shows, but I was like, I don't know if Becca's gonna be ready with photos of her work. That's
Yeah,
like
I
for an
know. I
application.
think that like my whole thought process of doing shows was like when I was in Washington, I was so connected that I didn't need anything. It was like I was so blessed and privileged to be in the space that I was in where it was like, "Hey, Molly, I'm going to do the farmers market this weekend, okay? Okay, cool." Like, it was just that type of exchange.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I need just like a shitty farmers market. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Is just like a shitty farmers market.
Because you were
But
asking me about stuff, and I was like, well, I mean, I would feel bad. I got connections with shows here, but I don't want to make you drive 2 hours for a show that you're going to sell like $600 worth. But you're
right?
also probably just wanting that little bump to say like, okay, we're doing a show together, so that we're like committed to doing it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like actually having the stuff and then like I don't know, I do feel like that doing the shitty pots is really just a lot of fun for me and like selling those is a lot of fun. Um I don't feel like I would actually sell the fancy pots at any shows. Like I'm going to take them, but I don't think I'm going to sell very many of them.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I
I
think
mean,
that
I think
maybe
you can
doing
get your own customer base of like people that
yeah.
really appreciate the shitty pots, especially
Yeah.
if you make it like a frequency thing of people see you 3 times in that year.
Yeah. I made a sign that said shitty pots.
Hmm.
And
I did see that you were painting it, right?
yeah. Um I need to make another sign that's like shitty with like a definition.
Hmm.
But shitty adjective.
Did you make a fancy pot sign?
No. Why would I
Okay.
do that? I
I would
should
say the shitty pot sign is more like haphazard the way you wrote it, and then you make like
yeah.
a fancy one that's like very structured, and
Yeah,
it's
I
got
could
like,
do that.
you know,
Well, I used the board that I was planning on painting for you, so told I told Rachel that I'd paint you guys a painting, but then I used the board that I was going to use for your painting for my shitty pot sign.
oh, okay.
So, so yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I got these tables and I got this weird shelf. Maybe I'll sell a bunch. Maybe people will think I have my shit together and I'll sell a bunch. But I do think that doing like one of these shows might give me that kick that's like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I knew more of the show market there in Indy. I've never sold at any shows there, so.
Well, Rebecca sold in a few of them, so you know it'll be good. And also, I'm really excited about the garden stakes. Honestly, that's the most exciting thing for me. The
You know
stupid
what I
fucking
would
garden
fucking
stakes.
love is if you sold it like one of these indie markets where it's like these people that are so about their branding and their like Instagram, and some of these markets that I go to where the submission for the application is like your Instagram account and your website. It's not like a gradient backdrop,
Hmm.
and you're with these people that are like super into their branding and their booth setup, and it just looks so perfect, and I like,
That's my whole
and then
entire
you're
life
right
right
next to
now.
them, and it's like, oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and you know what I love though is that like that's my whole life. Also, first is that like, do you know how ironic and weird and fucking like awkward it is to meet somebody who's like trying really, really hard to do what they're doing and doing a great job at it? Like, but like trying really, really hard. And they have 2,000 followers on Instagram. And they look at my Instagram and I have 10.7 thousand followers on Instagram. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
Oh my
to,
god.
to be that person that's just like, you know what you got to do is just not give a fuck. Ah!
Consistently for a long period of time.
Yeah, you have to like build that like anticipation of not giving a fuck and also have some cats.
And then you would
Like,
probably get that question of like, how did you get your Instagram account to this level? And you're just like, I don't give a fuck. I literally just took off from Instagram for like 5 months and didn't post or whatever.
And I
And
make
now
bagels.
and now I'm reposting TikToks and making bagels and showing my cats. And I hate pottery; it's not my passion, but I share it, and I have some expertise, so people listen to me, and you know,
And it's like it's hard to like be like, if you just like stopped caring, people would gravitate. Like stopped caring about who you are so much.
like
People
who you're publicly portrayed as, kind of thing.
Yeah, like if you stopped caring about what like, like making everything perfect, making the post perfect and just like show people that you're a fucking human, maybe you'd have some success. Like that's, like just be a fucking human. And like the rest of the people that are following you. Like
Yeah.
like maybe you'd have some success and it's so hard to be like, yeah, like tell people that, but then they're like, I don't know. I just want to make sure that my logo is right. Okay.
Or that your grid looks right.
Yeah. Like just be a fucking human. That's gonna be my new tagline on my account. Just a fucking human.
Just being a fucking human.
I'm gonna update it right now. Instead of noble land mermaid.
Noble land mermaid.
Yep.
Man, sometimes it's kind of another tangent, but sometimes I don't know if you get it, but I get sometimes these random people will message me and they're like small talking. I've got to this point on social media where I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm really busy. I don't have time to small talk with you. Like when you get a message that just says hey, I'm like,
I do not respond to
hey.
messages that say hey.
And then they say, how are you? I'm like, oh my God. And then I literally don't respond. And they're like, I mean, this just happened like 2 days ago, but I'm like, are they a bot? And then I'm like, are they like attracted to me or something? Like, are they just trying to like slide in? Like, what are they doing? And then they say, how are you? And then I'm like, I'm doing good. And then they're like, why didn't you answer me? And I'm like, I'm busy. I'm sorry. I don't have time for small talk with strangers. Like, is there something I can help you with? I basically cut to the chase and was like, I'm done with small talk. Can
Do
we
you have
just.
a question?
And I basically said that. And they were like, I moved here from wherever. And they could just be like a friendly person looking for a friend on Instagram. But it's like, I don't have time for that.
I'm not your friend on Instagram.
Like, I'm here for business. Like, I'm trying to cut down my Instagram time. I'm not trying to small talk with strangers on the internet that
I
have
was
no interest in pottery or what I do or
I was
ask me.
thinking about this the other day. Would you have a personal okay, knowing what you know now and being who you are now. Let's say that like tomorrow you broke your hand and you can never do pottery ever again. Um what would you have a personal Instagram account?
If I was not doing a business,
Not doing a business.
that's hard to say I wouldn't because I do follow a lot of people that are like friends or family or people that I do like.
So okay.
I mean, it's
Okay,
hard. It's hard to. Are
would
you?
you post on Instagram at all?
Oh, okay. No, I would not. I don't.
Okay.
I mean,
Cuz I
I have
can
a personal
understand.
Facebook a personal Facebook account, and I do not post on my personal Facebook account at all.
Yeah, because I can understand. Well, you have to have a personal account to have a business account, which is the most bullshit rule Facebook ever had. Um, yeah, I can understand like having just like an Instagram account just to, like follow things,
Yeah.
but like posting at all.
Yeah, I would not
No,
post.
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
either.
who gives a shit about my personal stuff of just like, hey, I'm making dinner and here's my dinner. Like that's what Instagram used to be, right? When it like first started like
Yeah,
showing your meal and stuff.
yeah.
If you're not doing anything unique, like why do people care what your meals are?
Hmm.
But it was kind of immediately your friends and family, so it was like you were sharing with your immediate circle
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
stuff you were
think
doing.
that definitely nowadays Instagram is not for the a personal motive. It is for making money.
Making money, growing a following,
Yeah.
getting more attention to whatever you're selling or whatever your craft is or
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure I pretty much stick to the niche of just craft and pottery. So I really don't know 95% of what's on Instagram because I just don't follow
Right.
anything outside of the pottery bubble.
That's a good point. We are very like secluded in our little bubble.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I see some of the stuff that like Rachel looks at sometimes on her phone,
Mhm.
and she follows a lot of like interior design and a lot of like
Mhm.
colorful people that share travel stuff, and like they're
Yeah.
more like influencer, like they're more likely to share like skincare routines and shit like that. That's like,
Right, right, right.
it's like, are these real people or are they just bullshitting me here?
Mm.
But I don't know. Some people could think that a lot of potters are like that too, that they're just kind of high on what they're making and only share
Yeah.
the highlight reel stuff. But I don't know. I feel like we have a unique thing that we can share that's like not necessarily selfish. Like we have a lot of things that we can share that's knowledge, or it's, hey, I made this thing, it's cool, I'm proud of it. And it doesn't seem as
Yeah.
selfish in my mind as like
Mhm.
sharing your outfits or something. But
Yeah, but those people that share their outfits get paid for that.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's their job. Their job. So,
I don't know. I mean, what? How am I any better selling pottery that's a luxury item than selling clothes that people need to wear clothes, but it's like
right.
luxury clothes or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
I don't know.
Humana, humana, humana. It is interesting. I don't think I would ever have an. I like if I didn't have to, I wouldn't have
I
one.
mean, what sparked you to get a TikTok initially?
Oh, remember I wanted to get a TikTok because I was going to sell the studio, so I was going to make 1-minute videos as tutorials so that they could just go online to TikTok and
Right, to
like
watch how to load a kiln or how to,
yeah, there were very specific videos. Like very specific reason for getting a TikTok. Like it was not to like dance, you know.
and it was not to grow a big following and get more customers and stuff.
Absolutely not. It was not. Like it came at the worst time. Like I had nothing to sell. Like
Right. Because you were winding down.
yeah. Yeah, it came at the absolute worst time. Um yeah, no, TikTok was mm-mm. And then I ended up finding like this great community and then I left. Just like I
It's
did
funny
the
how some
play
people,
buddies.
yeah, some people can just leave social and you're like, I thought I had this connection with them, but you don't really know what's going on. And they can
Yeah.
leave just for their own personal reasons. Like they stopped doing pottery, so they just logged out of their account for 6 months because they were focusing on finishing up their degree or something.
Right.
And then they just was like, okay, I mean, I was making pottery so I could make some money, but now that I got my career and I graduated, I'm in a job and it's satisfying and I'm doing it. And
Yeah.
I don't really make pottery right now.
Yeah, like how crazy to just stop doing something. Like why isn't that acceptable? Why is that not acceptable?
I mean, have you seen Leanne? She I don't think she's made any pottery in this year,
Yeah,
in the
cuz
last like 6 months.
she got carpal tunnel surgery, didn't she? I think that's the coolest thing. I fucking love it. She's got Yellow Duck and we've got cats fighting in the back. She's got Yellow Duck and Mrs. Fluffy Pants or whatever her name is. I fucking love the direction that
Oh
oh
my
wow.
god. Autumn's got Marble backed in the corner and she's loving it, and Marble's like, "Get out of here."
Holy shit. That makes me feel better about my cats.
Autumn, Autumn.
Who's the instigator? Autumn?
Marble's just backed up against a wall, and Autumn is just standing right in front of her doing nothing. And Marble is freaking the fuck out. Autumn just looks content. She just looks like everyday Autumn.
That's so
And
funny.
Autumn just walks away. All right, I think they're done. Rachel just came down and was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I love what Leanne's doing right now. I think it's fucking great.
I feel like, and I think she did one post that was like, by the way, if you haven't noticed, I haven't been making pottery, so please, like, I don't even think she like asked for like an apology, like, I'm sorry, or like, please be okay with that. I don't think she was asking for permission. She was just like, this is what's going on a little bit. But like, she didn't have to explain herself. She was just kind of like, hey. And I'm guessing the transfer stuff's still going on because she's got staff.
Transfers are still going on.
Honestly, like that could probably support them with just transfers because like their business.
Yeah, I think so. That's like transfers are not going away anytime soon. So yeah. Oh, I have clay on my chin. Yeah, I think it's like just let people just quit. We need to let people just quit if they want to.
Or just take a break if they want to
just take a fucking break, yeah. Oof.
I mean, I think this definitely funnels back into the scheduling. Schedule yourself so that you don't hate this if you want to do this for the long term, or if you just like don't set a schedule up for yourself that like makes you dread doing it or makes you get overwhelmed or feel like you have to like fill up to somebody else's like making level. Like somebody messaged me a couple days ago and was like, I'm just trying to keep up with your production level. Like,
why?
It's so crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, the main reason I can produce so much is because I literally don't trim anything and I have no like middle step. Like I can finish a thing with my thumb,
right?
Like 80% of my pieces, and I don't have to do anything extra, and it's sitting on a shelf. That's how I can produce so much stuff. It's not that I'm just like not sleeping and I,
totally
work 7 hours every night. Like,
yeah. On top of that, like we need to schedule times to not be working.
Yeah, I've definitely prioritized way more time to do other stuff outside of work, outside of studio time this year.
And how has it made you
home
feel?
Stuff. I mean, I just like in the past, I've definitely made it a point to say like I don't have time to like exercise or do anything for like an hour after.
Yeah.
But like what is 30 minutes out of my day that I can't really go exercise for 30 minutes? Or I like cut the grass yesterday, cut the backyard for like an hour and a half, and I'm like I was looking forward to the time that I could have my headphones on and just listen to a podcast for like an hour and a half and just mindlessly kind of cut the grass. But it's like, how bad, like I'm pretty set in the studio right now. Like I got a lot of stuff done. So I'm not going to just kick back and, watch a movie on Netflix with nothing to do, but I'll do outdoor work that I need to get done to like help Rachel out or help us get ready for this housewarming thing and like setting a schedule and working around it.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like the majority of the people that I've seen. I was talking to that David guy and I was like, phew, I went from working 90 hours a week to working 24. And he was like, he didn't say how the fuck, he's actually a Christian motivational speaker. Way too happy. And
like fake happy or like
he was really nice. Happy. Like really nice.
Okay.
Anyway, he's like, how do you even work 90 hours a week? And I was like, I don't fucking know. Like, you burn out though, I can tell you that. Like, if I had just scheduled time and like made hard boundaries, I would probably still have a studio in Monroe, Washington, and like.
Is it because you just get yourself to the I have to do this thing?
Yeah.
I have
like
to get in there and do this thing today.
Yeah, and we always had this saying at Sherwin-Williams when I worked there. It was like, it's just paint. Like, it's just paint. Like, and it's funny because when you're on the other side of the table, other side of the counter, when painters come in and they're like, oh my God, like I need this paint right now. And you're like, dude, it's just fucking paint. Like it's just, and then they're like, no, this is my livelihood. And you're like, yeah, but it's just paint. And like, that's such a good way to look at it. It's just fucking pottery. It's just pottery. Like it will be there tomorrow. Just schedule to eat dinner with your family. Do not skip dinner. If you have a family, don't skip it because you have to be in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Get a fucking damp box. It'll be there tomorrow. You know, and I think that that's huge within our ever ending workaholic life that
mindset and
that America has brewed.
hustle culture.
The hustle culture. Like, you can't have a life and you can't go out for beers and you can't like sleep. And we're like praised for working 80 hours a week. No. No. If somebody ever tells me that they work 80 hours a week, I'm going to immediately be like, "Are you okay?" Like,
are you okay? What do you need help with?
yeah. Like, can we work on a schedule for you? Can we work on some breaks?
Like, could you be 80% productive if you worked 60 hours a week?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to also, with my like new role, the team has a sync at 9:00. I haven't, 9:00 in the morning. So typically I'm a get out of bed at like 9:30 or
Right.
get out of bed at 9:15, shower, get ready by like 9:45, something like that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, okay, I need to get out of the studio a little after midnight or,
Yeah.
12:15. So I'm not pushing 1:00 in the studio. So I've been doing that for the last week or so. It's not bad. I mean, I could easily push myself to work 30 more minutes in the studio and be like, all right, I can keep going. But,
Yeah.
How often do you get out of the studio, go right upstairs, brush your teeth, get in bed, and you're asleep in 15 minutes? Like, no, it's like a 30-minute ordeal to like
Yeah.
wind down. It's not so fast.
For sure.
So, I don't know.
Oof.
Little new habits hopefully we're forming here.
Yeah.
And taking the time out of the studio time, not the family time or the
Right.
work time, because I probably shouldn't be cutting out 2 hours of my work day
Right.
to do random shit.
Yep.
So all right, do we have anything else today? We got to
No.
2 hours somehow. I don't know how we
I
did
don't
it.
know how the fuck we
We had
did
some
that,
tangents, but
yeah, it's definitely a woof. I didn't get totally drunk. I was surprised. I poured a good amount of that limoncello into the to that.
limoncello is really tart though.
No,
But we
this one
still have
is really sweet. I felt like it was almost too sweet. Like, I think my ankles are swelling.
Your ankles are swelling?
I think so. Yeah, they're swollen. They're swollen because of how much sugar I just consumed.
Oh my gosh, it just goes right to your ankles, huh? We still have a bottle of limoncello in the fridge, I think, that we never touch it.
Well, maybe me and Deech will have to pound some.
Yeah, there you go. Pull a D. Just take a bunch of shot glasses and be like, all right, D, we're drinking this.
Yeah, since
She
she
forces it
always
on
makes
you.
me drunk when I'm at her house, I'm going to make her drunk when we're at your house.
There you go.
And then I'm going to make her drink pickle juice.
We don't have pickles, so I don't know where you're going to get pickle juice.
Shit. It's okay. It's fine.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Leave us some questions. We put a
Yes,
story out
please.
there, but definitely keep those questions coming.
Yeah.
It's the
We love 'em.
lifeblood.
The lifeblood of the
It's
pottery.
honestly what sparks what we're going to talk about. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Or even if you don't have questions, a topic idea is good enough, honestly.
there you go.
Yeah. So, like a podcast topic. So, yeah.
It's not like we're going to stop if we stop getting questions, but
We might. You never know. We might.
Nicer.
We might hold a strike.
You think I'm going to let that happen? What would have to really happen for us to just not release something on a Saturday?
Death.
Something drastic. Like
Death.
even if like we couldn't record, like I would probably solo do it
Or
uh,
re-release something. Like an old episode.
oh man. Eh.
Like somebody close to both of us would have to die.
Or like your computer would have to die on like a Thursday when you're supposed to edit it and you're like, I
Yeah.
lost that episode.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm putting this out there into the ether. If anybody knows how to recover a hard drive, my Seagate 4 terabyte hard drive had every single podcast episode, numbers 1 through like 120, completely bit the shit. And I just made that up, bit the shit. Bit the dust, shit the bed. It doesn't mount, but it's recognizable. So if anybody, you know, wants to fix it for me, I will mail it to you.
Mm,
Hooray. But I mean, like, it's not all lost because it's all on the interwebs, but yeah.
okay.
I got a new terabyte hard drive, the exact 4 terabyte hard drive, the exact same one. So I'm expecting this to happen in about 4 years anyway. Again.
How many times do you actually go back into an old hard drive? Like I've got like 2 or 3 hard drives in here that probably have like old computer stuff on it from like 10 years ago. It's like,
Oh
how
yeah.
many times do you actually open that to look at it? If it's not like podcast episodes, like those are kind of valuable to keep, I
The
would say. But
reason that you have a hard drive is to back up your computer just in case something happens to your computer. That's why you have the
yeah,
hard drive. Or to store illegal movies or illegal anime. That's the reason.
yes. I think I kept like old photos from photography class in college, and I like never look back at those, or just like old photos from like your point and shoot camera that you
Dude,
just randomly took with, and it's like I'm not going back to that.
my friend Teresa has so many fucking photos of her family. Like, she has photos of me and her in college. College. That was
Hmm.
10 years ago. And I, um, she has like all these photos and she can just like go back to them and she looks at them frequently. And
Really?
I don't even have pictures of me as a child. I have no pictures of me, like none.
Wow. So it's
There's
like
like,
scrapbook, but she's actually looking at them digitally. Like,
yeah, she has
how
like a
often do you look at
whole,
scrapbook that's not physical? Like, are you actually? I
yeah.
feel like that never happens.
Yeah, she has like a whole library of pictures and she looks at them a lot. And like I frequently go through all my pictures and just delete them. So I
Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's Saturday night, 5 o'clock. I gotta like, I'm just gonna look at photos in my old albums that are
that's
digital.
what she does. They do it. Yeah, like I'm part of her
Wow.
Google group. It's pretty insane. There's too many. But
Jeez.
yeah. Okay, we have to go.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next
Thanks.
time.
Bye.
Bye. Like our last one where we were like, and here's our outro.
Save. What are we saving this as?
Something studio related. Studio
Oh, I have to go get my hard drive.
production something or another.
What number?
What'd you say?